So, hello, beautiful, magical tribe, and welcome to Magic Month of October. I can't believe we're already in October. Well, we're not quite there at the time of recording. And I am really grateful to be here. Magic Month is an energy forecast that gives you an energetic, channeled astrological insights for the month ahead so that you can use that information to know the best time to manifest, the best time to heal, so you can understand the waves and processes that you are in and use all of that information to live your best life. And if you don't know me, my name is Karila, and I'm from Starlight Temple, which does courses and ceremonies and channeled processes that are tools for our personal and collective ascension. And we have had a very, very big year astrologically. This year, the year of 25, and next year, 26, are, from an astrology point of view, the most important 2 years of our lifetimes. And October feels like integration of a lot of what's happened this year. Is definitely integration of the journey we've been on with the 2 eclipses, the last eclipse of the year completing in September. And it's also it's a month where we really get to drop into greater levels of worthiness. It's calmer and more spacious than a lot of the months in the year of 25 have been. There's incredible amounts of potential this month. And also a real forecast for like positive, aligned, soul pulsating path action. When I was tuning in, it felt like October is an opportunity to regulate and stabilize into what your soul needs you to be. So, and it's a really, really important, even though there's a lot of completion and integration this month, there's also, it's the beginning of a really important and lovely part of our collective karma, which I will explain a little bit more when we go into the forecast. But mainly, it's powerful, it's positive, and it's quite simple. I'd really love to share with you what I read in one of the astrology articles that I was checking when I was researching Magic Month, partly because some of you will know how incredibly aligned this is with the Beautiful Way, which is the course that I have starting on the 1st of October. For some of us, we will be forging new paths. This is about October, by the way. So for some of us, we will be forging new paths, feeling a boost of energy and inspired to create new beginnings. For others, we may be cleaning up from any storms we have weathered and will need some time to recover. Either way, we can return to the idea of peace, for that is what October truly offers us. How nice. In this magnificently chaotic and powerful and crazy astrological year, we have a month that is offering us peace in these times. And also all of these pathways and these new beginnings and this kind of, there's a real wrap up and open up energy to October. It's really good. It's really juicy. It's really great. And I will explain more about the karma. But let us begin by closing our eyes and coming into a more centered way of listening. By focusing on our breath, breathing in love and breathing out gratitude. Breathing in love and breathing out gratitude. And as you breathe in love, and breathe out gratitude, give yourself this moment to take stock of the first 9 months of this year. Really allowing your inner eye, your inner sight, your inner sense to consider what the 9 months of the first of the birth that is 25 has been about. Considering the great spiritual and emotional and possibly physical distance that you have traveled since the beginning of the year. Bringing your attention to your heart, and understanding that this year has resoundingly changed your heart. And just allow yourself to observe what has changed. in the quality and the capacity of your heart. Because of your personal and our collective processes. And recognize that this change has happened. And that it is now time to relax around it. And integrate and assimilate. And you feel a column of source light coming into this time and this space. Instantly raising your vibration. And as this source light raises your vibration, your energy is sealed from top to bottom in white and golden light. And your physical body can give the weight of who you are to the earth. And this doesn't happen very often at the start of Magic Month, but I can feel my guides wanting to channel. So I'm going to open up and ask for the guidance that is in the highest good and the greatest joy of all, always. Star councils of the light, speak and transmit to each of you now. And we ask you to place your hands on your physical heart centers. Choosing to experience your hearts with the palms of your hand. Coming into an energetic contemplation of how much lighter and freer and more alive your heart is. Because of the perfect plan that unfolded from the start of the year up until now. And we invite you to recognize this change of heart and understand that a change of heart changes everything. For that which you call the age of Aquarius or the fifth dimension or the many other names of the new earth, it all emanates from this change in the state of your heart. And we speak of the winter now, if you are in the northern hemisphere, the summer, if you are in the southern hemisphere. And we say to you that this time period, particularly up until February and the end of the year of the snake, it is a time of up-leveling, upgrading. Your life in order for your life to be a worthy reflection of this change of heart. And we say to you that whilst this is the moment of initiation, you will find that it is inevitable that you simply cannot not surround this new heart with anything that is not sacred to you, that is not beautiful to you, that is not worthy of this great dazzling light. That your hands can feel. The light of the beloved. That tingles in your palm. And we say to you that this is what integration is. the bringing of the physical standards into alignment and harmony with the heart of who you are now. And so when Spirit is speaking of these concepts that are so contradictory in terms of ascension, when you hear statements such as the light has won, or it is done, it is complete, and then you look at the world that is so far from these statements, we say to you that it is a statement that is expressing what you are experiencing now. The heart is changed. And yet the next 12 years are about raising all of life up into this new standard. That is being set by the heart. That has changed. And October is the beginning of this. It is time to live lives that are worthy of the beloved. Breathing in love and breathing out gratitude. When you're ready, opening your heart to the energy of October. Connecting to the energy, noticing the effect that it has on you. Breathing in love and breathing out gratitude. And when you are ready, opening your eyes, coming in. And I would love, those of you that are regulars to Magic Month know that I would love you to co-create this webinar. So please do use the chat to say what did you sense about October's energy? Did you understand that message from the guides about this new time that is about bringing our lives to meet the standards of our changed hearts. And what this new path cycle is all about. And it's particularly important this winter. I'm going to say winter because I'm of the Northern Hemisphere, but you get what I mean. If you're in the summer, you know, the next 6 months. The reason it's particularly important is because those of you that are regulars to Magic Month will know that in Vedic and in Western astrology, this year is when our karma of separation completed. And so up until this point, up until this year, as human beings, unless you were like a very special enlightened master like Buddha, we couldn't actually reach enlightenment because we carried the karma of separation. So collectively, we would not be able to reach it collectively because at least some of us had to always be carrying the karma, most of us. And so we have completed that karma now. That's part of the condition of our ascension. And it was shown in the planet. So, you know, throughout the summer, we've had all of the outer planets, which are called the gods of change signs, many of them moving into like beginning positions, really starting new cycles. And that has been part of the astrology that is confirming this completion of the karmic cycle. But then what's happening now is when the outer planets change, they don't change very often. They're in the same planetary constellation for years. Never in the history of astrology have we ever had all of them change in such a short amount of time as each other. But then they all change back. So they're going to change permanently next year, which is why this is this year and next year. What they've done this summer is they've given us a taste of the age of Aquarius. Then they all change back, and then they change back again. And that's when like it really goes. Does that make sense? But the change back, it's important because it's when we get to reap the rewards of the cycles we've had in those planets, but on a bigger level, because it's also the end of a 2,000 years of collective karma. And some people would even go as far as to say 26,000 years of collective karma. That's the moment you get the reward. So karma is when you are out of alignment and it's the journey of getting back into alignment. But the reason that the soul chooses to have karma is because in that moment of realignment, you get a reward. And that's why the soul chooses to do things through the law of karma. And this is a big reward, what humanity chose with the karma of separation, which, you know, I was channeling the fairies this summer, and the elemental kingdom were like, you guys, like, we were not up for that. They were like, respect. You know, it was a big thing. And this reward on a soul level. So if you imagine your entire life has been lived with a missing ingredient. And this reward is like that ingredient comes back in. And it will be different for every single one of you because it depends what your soul chose. But every single human being on earth at this time is having a hole. They're about to have a hole that they have lived their entire life with filled, not just on a physical level or even a spiritual level, even at the level of their soul. And the more that we can attune to that and live in that, the more reward, like the more enriched and threaded our soul becomes with that reward, and the more it emanates and spills into our lives. And it's not just a, can I put it? It's not just it's not a house. It might be home. It's not, this is qualities, right? So yes, it might create new manifestation, but it's not just manifestation in physical form. It's like if you've had a life of never knowing, really understanding the meaning of home, then the quality of home could come in, and thus a home might manifest. Or it might just be that suddenly everywhere is home. Home is where you are. It might not be home. It might be that love has always been something that's elusive. These are qualities, and they're soul qualities. And the difference with your next cycle is in the last cycles of your life, you have walked without this. And this time period, from October through to February, is a time of really bringing this reward home. And it's glorious, and it's magnificent, and it's beautiful, and it's going to mean a whole new way of being who you are. And I believe with all of my being that is why it's not always why the planets move back, but in this case, it's why it's the reaping of the reward of karma that we are having this, like, now go back and do it different and live it different and be it different. And so it's a very sacred time. And again, those of you that know Magic Month will know that normally I'm straight into the forecast, and I promise we're going into it. But because of this guidance around karma, because of what's happening in the sky, because this year of the snake is the most precious snake year of our life. And to answer your question, how do we know which quality? You've got a journey, you've got a vision, this is the time now to sit with your soul. It really is. This is not, stop making plans, give space. Give time to vision and pilgrimage and listen, because it's going to affect the next 12 years of your life. The quality of what we do now is the foundation, because this is every year of the snake is this. What, for those who are willing to truly open up in service and submit to their soul in the year of their snake, then the rest of it's kind of in the bag. And I don't mean that it's easy, because it's not easy. We're humans, we're here to grow. It's just that, it's the right year to initiate. And so much of that initiation is about it's about giving yourself proper time to understand and believe, and listen. And so I don't think I've ever done this on Magic Month before, because I normally promote things at the end, but the offering that my guides are doing for the year of the snake, like for the path initiation and for this karma and for the next 12-year cycle, is the beautiful way. Which is, it basically is what I've just said. It's like, go and find out what your karmic reward is, and learn through the mystery school. Because somebody that does a lot of Starlight courses said to me the other day, Starlight is a mystery school, and it is. The teachings that are coming through, they belong to the ancient mystery schools. This is, and don't let finance stop you. Like, I have made it really as affordable as I can, but if you need to do it in installments, just let me know. I'm not going to stop anybody from having this process with their soul. And so, and there's a discount on the Life Force Cafe as well, if you're a Life Force Cafe. So yeah, that this is happening, and I believe that what the guides are about to offer is one of the greatest portals for all of this, because Starlight and the mystery school that is Starlight Temple is particularly fluent and proficient in the laws that belong to the mystery and the uncertainty and the soul stuff. You know, the soul code course we just ran in the summer, it was a how to move out of survival mode. And this is going to be a how to stop your path from being stressful and start it being soulful. Which is basically when you don't do your path anymore, you just are a vessel for your soul to do what it was destined to do. And the rest just happens. But it's so hard for us to do that. It's not easy. And so this is the teachings and the gateways and the rites that mean that your next cycle is integrated with this new way of being. And it will only be on, it will only be live this one time. It's a year of the snake, Jen. Maybe it will be recorded and turned into something afterwards, but I don't know. And to be honest, now is the time. Like, we're never going to have a planetary karmic reward thing again. Like, now is the time. And we're never going to be in this year of the snake again and facing. I was tuning in to there are 2 cycles of path that are really important, right? If you're an adult, you are here for like you are here in your mastery for the most important parts of Ascension, which is 2012 to 25 and 25 to 33. And the 2012 to 25, which was epic, that was also a straddle 2 dimensions rehearsal compared to the next one. Like, the next one, we have to perform miracles. Next one, we do. And I don't mean us individually, we all do. We have got to ride our souls. We need us. We cannot do it as humans. We have to do it as soulful humans full of soul. Otherwise, we're not going to do it. Because look at where the world's at. And so I want everybody to come on if it's calling, if it's your most beautiful thing you can do, I want you to come. But let's go into the forecast for October and why October's so it's just perfect for this. So those of you that know Magic Month, and I'm going to end October with another really helpful technique, by the way, that will also be helpful to you. I'm going to end Magic Month with this thing that will also help those of you that are resonating. So those of you that know Magic Month will know that October, the whatever happens at the start of the month sets the scene. It's like it tells you what the month is in its essence. And what we have at the beginning of October is astrologically there's nothing going on, which is really rare. Like there's nothing until the 6th of October, nothing of it. It's just space. But that, when that happens, that means, and we have also had nothing going on at the end of September as well. So it's even longer. And it's like, you're all feeling it. It's like there's this sense of calm before the storm, or what it is it's womb space, right? It's potential. It's pure. It's the 0 point where anything can happen and everything's inside of it. And when we're in those fields, as humans, we don't like those fields because we like, we're patriarchal. So we like action and order, and we like to know the plan. And these times they kind of rock us to our core. But actually, they're where we're in most contact with our soul. And so the start of the month is like, just listen and be in the space and be in the infinite possibilities. And be. Don't be a human doing, be a human being. Or better still, be a human souling, which is what you need to do next. And then the first thing to happen in October, on October 6th, is Mercury. Mercury moves into Scorpio. And Mercury, it's a planet moving forward, planet of communication. And it's moving into Scorpio, Scorpio is like the part of the astrological wheel that goes to the very bottom of everything. So, and it is the death and rebirth part. And so, this is for all of that space, and then that to happen. It's just like, come on, you're going through the eye of the needle of the truth of who you are. Like Scorpio goes all the way to the soul, And very much the sky with that is saying instincts, time for deeper truth, time to let your ancient knowing, your inner mystery school lead the way. Time to express your truth fully, even if it's dangerous to. And to allow yourself to go through a death and rebirth in service to your own truth. Because then, and this is the moons are really, October is feminine. We are in the arms of the goddess in October, partly because it starts with space. And then it's all about the moon. So on October 7th, we have a super full moon. A super moon is when the moon is closer to the earth, so it's even bigger, its powers are even stronger. We have a super full moon in Aries. So we have nothing, and then we have a new beginning. Aries is the beginning of the cycle. But what's really important is Aries is really active under this super full moon. And Aries is, she's an asteroid, and she's the sister of Mars. And her name is also known as Discordia. She's chaos. So that's womb magic again, that's feminine magic again. What's interesting is I read an amazing article during the pandemic time that showed every important thing that happened in the pandemic and what Aries was doing. So when a group, when I got coronavirus, I got it from doing land. We were allowed out at that time. It was one of the times you were allowed out, but a group of us had done a ceremony and we got back and we all had it. And so because like 20 of us had it, we were all in our homes and we were like deciding to work with coronavirus energetically. And one of the things we did is we channeled Aries. So one of the things we did was we connected to Aries, who had like been major in shaking everything up through the pandemic. And you know what she does, she creates chaos, right? She takes order. If you imagine a board game, she just throws the board game up in the air. Like that's what she does. And then we channeled her, and I will never forget the message as long as I live. She was like, do not fight me. I am the sister of the god of war. If you fight me, you will lose. And she was like, don't run from me, because you will also lose. But meet me with equal force. Everything I send to you, send it back with equal force. And she said, if you learn how to do that, that's how you live in peace. That's what I'm here to teach humanity, is to be warriors of peace, to meet what is difficult for you with equal force. So you're not fighting and you're not running. And, you know, I feel that what's going to happen around the 7th and around this full moon is our paradigms are about to get shaken up in some way. And again, we have Eris inviting us to meet her with equal force. And this might be collective, or more likely it's going to be personal, because how does your karmic reward come in other than through the portal of chaos? You know, and this chaos could be your orientation. Where I call it in is in worth, because of the message the guides just gave. Our lives are not worthy of the beloved right now. They are not. Because all of us as collective are not living in integrity. And, you know, we have to make our lives worthy in the most beautiful sense of worthiness, not in the ego sense. But actually, worthiness is about equal force. And it's interesting, we've got Aries, very male energy, and Aries, an equal force, female energy. Under the full moon, the sky is saying the male and the female have to be in equal force. And then the sky confirms this because, again, there's just space after that. It's like, sit with that, be with that. This moon is an amazing time to manifest, by the way, because there's so much change energy with it. And it's connected. It connects to the March equinox, which is around the March equinox and the March eclipse is when the karma ended. And so this moon, be in ceremony in some way, because it is when the karmic reward is going to start to come in, and you do not know what it looks like. It doesn't look like what your ego thinks it is. It's a quality that you can't even imagine what that quality is because you've lived without it. And so now is the time for your shamanism, your journeying, your meditation, manifesting from your soul as opposed to from your ego. Be in ceremony. And then October 13th, we have Venus entering Libra. So, around the middle of the month, that's when the medicine comes in. And the medicine this month, Venus in Libra is balance. We've got Aries and the Aries being like, let's see how much balance you can do. And then it's like balance. And guess what? One of the astrology things I read is Venus in Libra is a good time to bring more beauty into your life. It is about living more beautifully. It is about the beautiful way. And straight after that, we have this amazing, the sky starts to pick up after we come into this balance. We have Pluto going direct. And so you think back, the Pluto retrograde, Pluto is death and rebirth and transformation and ultimately power. And Pluto went into retrograde on the 5th of May. So think back to the beginning of May, because your karmic reward, like Pluto will have, whenever we have something missing from ourselves or our souls or our consciousness, we give our power away to it, right? And so your Pluto retrograde journey through the summer will have been clearing up, bringing up, healing, showing where you have been giving your power away, giving you opportunities to see and correct and shift. I believe most of people's healing journey were around the higher heart and higher self-consciousness, and where we crash out of our higher selves, where we can't hold our higher heart energy yet. But maybe that was just personally for me, but I have a feeling it was collective. And so understand that your reward is deeply connected to that you needed to do that preparation journey. And as Pluto, as the moon comes in and Pluto goes direct, and the eclipse window, which would have been the last big healing of that and big revealing of it, comes into completion with the super full moon, all of it starting to realize, as in realize, and embody within you. And this is a good place to look. It's a good place to go. And then straight after that, the 16th to 18th of October, we have the Arcturus gateway. And Arcturus, the Arcturians are these master healers. And the root meaning of the word heal is the same as the root meaning of integrate. It means wholeness. The Arcturus gateway, it's an opportunity to, especially if you have a connection with the Arcturians, is an upgrade. It's when the energy of Arcturus is really, really potent. And the Arcturus gateway is known as the like portal for prosperity and abundance. But to me, when I was tuning in for Magic Month, the thing my guides kept saying, they were like, yeah, but what kind of abundance do you want? Do you want your ego to be abundant, or do you want your soul to be abundant? Because these are the questions for the new cycle. Because actually, humans are very good at ego abundance. We have more abundance than our parents and grandparents. But are we wealthy? Are we richer? And it's almost like what I feel October's doing is it's inviting some of these spiritual law understandings, these manifesting teachings, these things that we've been allowed to play with, especially a lot of us since 2012. It's time for them to level up a bit. It's time to not just be calling in abundance from our ego anymore. But from a deeper, from the part of you that is truly great. The part of you that is truly magnificent, the part of you that is truly here to do something so meaningful other than just keep you and your loved ones safe. And so the Arcturus Gateway is another amazing time to really open up to everything in October's like big picture. Get ready for it's getting you ready for the karmic rewards. The more you can journal, the more you can journey, the more you can soul talk, the more better placed you're going to be. And then Mercury conjunct Mars on the 20th October. Both of them come together in Scorpio. Mars is the warrior, the masculine, Mercury, the great communicator. And what's great about this is these two, they get stuff done. So like you've got this month up until the 20th that's like soul dreaming, like visioning, connecting to the potential, going deep and far and wide. And then suddenly there's this like wonderful energy that is path action, which if you are actually listening to your soul, then it's going to be proper path action. One of the things my guides have been teaching in the beautiful way is they're like, if you don't listen to how the qualities that your soul wants you to bring through when you're doing an action, then it's not a path action, it's just an action. So if if you have to write a newsletter, for example, and your soul wants you to write it with loads of joy and all you're doing is writing it in a rush, then it's no longer a path action because you're not being a vessel for your soul. You're just doing an action. And so in a way, what the sky is saying is like, learn to open up and listen and be in relationship with your soul so that by the time we get here and there's this like huge pulse of energy and go, you're really aligned. Your actions are path actions. And straight after that, there's this massive boost of the masculine. And right next to it, again, just like we had with the full moon, that in comes the feminine again. We've got the new moon in Libra, all about balance, and Aries again. I run Magic Month for so many years, and so rarely do you have an asteroid really active on both the full moon and the new moon. And this is the end of the eclipse season. The new moon is the new cycle. And there's this Aries energy again that it liberates us from the dogma of our own systems and our own inner matrices, the things we think we're trapped in. Eris is like a superpower for that because she's chaos. You know, there is no prison. There is no I have to do. There's only chaotic potential with Eris. It's the energy in the womb, the energy of anything can be. You know? So sometimes we need the discordance to break the old system. That's what we're seeing on the collective level, is the discordia that is bringing down the modern day Roman Empire. You know? And that's the power, and it's time for that stuff to leave your life. This is amazing moon for healing. Amazing moon. And so, you know, by this point, you should have your soul vision, have connected to your path actions, be willing for chaos, mainly inside of you, I would say. Like, true change is when you stop believing in something you used to believe in, right? When you're just like, what if that isn't true? What if this isn't real? You know, that's discordia power. Do you see what I mean? Like, question. Why don't you spend the whole of the new moon questioning? Question every single thing in your life. Bring that power through everything in your life and offer the rest up to your soul. Because then the next day, this is where the month gets hot. The next day, Neptune in retrograde re-enters Pisces. And if there is any moment of karmic reward coming in, it's got to be that. Because Neptune is soul. And Saturn and Neptune, they are the ones that in March, they were really marking the end of our cycle of separation karma. And Neptune returning back to Pisces. Pisces is enlightenment. You know, Pisces is the heart of the beloved. The highest form of Pisces is Rumi. Like, it is the beloved. Yeah, it is when you recognize that you are not just mortal. And when Neptune, our soul, re-enters Pisces for the last time in our lifetime, that is our moment to embody that reward. That is the moment that reward and frequency stream into us. And we get to live Pisces as whole, the age of Pisces as finally complete beings. So it becomes the foundation of the new earth. And so this whole time period is so important. And the best thing you can do is listen and follow your guidance and do what your soul says, because you want to be in exactly the right place at the right time to receive. Because then on the next day, Jupiter is square Chiron. And Jupiter, everything Jupiter touches, it expands. And Chiron is the wounded healer. It's our humanity. And, you know, Chiron's in Aries, which is about the wound of the individual. Jupiter is in Cancer, which is about the mother. Actually, a lot of the karmic coding in March was all about the mothering of the masculine, of the militarized masculine, which this is. And then, which basically means doing things with care as opposed to doing things with cortisol. and on a personal and a collective level, care over cortisol. And it's, and this is really important because it, you know, there are these Jupiter square chirons. When I tuned in, my guys were like, yeah, they're coming into worth. They're coming into your worthiness. They're like, actually, my life is sacred and my life is divine, and I'm going to treat everything that I am as a temple, my everyday as a temple to the divine. Okay? And this, there's 3 of these squares, and their dates are so important, actually. There's this one on October 23rd. The next one is December 21st, so the solstice in the year of the snake. And then the following one is the 1st of July, which is when we're in the next astrological peak, really where a lot of this work comes into embodiment. And we won't experience this alignment again until 2033. So this is like a full activation of your next level of worth. Chiron is also your gift. It's when Jupiter is able to super expand and charge your gifts. Again, do you know what? Make an offering on the 23rd. Make an offering, even if that offering is the offering of your commitment to be of service. Make an offering. This is the year that paths initiate. And then on the 29th, we have Mercury again. And what's beautiful is by the end of the month, so the end of the month is like, yeah, if you do all of this, if you follow the sky plan, this is the reward. And the reward is Mercury on the 29th is in Sagittarius. So we have Mercury moving into Scorpio, getting to the very depths of your soul and your karma and everything like that. And then Sagittarius is so much more fun. It's like Sagittarius is like, now celebrate being yourself and go out into the world and express your soul in celebration and in joy and in faith. And so it's a really, it's so sparkly if we do this. It's so illuminating, it's so lovely. And then of course on the 31st we have Samhain, which is actually the pagan New Year, really beautifully connected to the Pleiades. And Samhain is the grandmother New Year. It's when the actual death and rebirth happens, And so this is, do you see how this whole month is an initiation into being more soulful and into things that have got wide and they've got big and they've got feminine, and the feminine way is always like, let go. don't even bother trying and controlling, give over, and that's what we need to do this month, is give over, is give up, is give into. And yeah, I will teach you the worthiness practice that came through in one of the preparation sessions for the beautiful way, because I really see in the astrology chart that like the guide said, it's about leveling up your worthiness. And I'm just seeing if there's anything else that wants to come through. Find a way to do ceremony. The feminine does things ceremonially. The more ceremony you can do at this time, the better. And ceremony can be simple. It doesn't have to be going to an event. It can be a daily ritual. It can be Ceremony is just a way of being in relationship and marking change. My definition, so I used to say that ceremony marked a change, and that ceremony was how we spoke the language of symbolism to honor change. And I said that for years as my definition of ceremony. Whereas now, my definition of ceremony is a bit broader. It's how we come into relationship. So it's being in relation. And ceremony is our oldest tool to come into relationship. So, you know, one of the things we're doing in the beautiful way, as an example, is a ceremony called the burning of the seeds, which is literally a ceremony you can only do in the year of the snake, where you are ceremonially calling all of the potential you didn't use in the last cycle into your new cycle. And there are many ways to do that, but the ceremony is that, like, how you come into relationship with that old potential and move it into the new. That makes sense. And I'm going to read this because it was leaping out at me. So it's interesting because I didn't even know. I just pulled this because it was on my altar and it was like, read it on Magic Month. And it says, Sacred Phoenix Heart. Reason says there's no way out. Love says there is a way. I have traveled it many times. Perhaps you are scratching your head quizzically or are in the deepest despair because you have met a dead end, or frowning no, or a dismissive laugh upon your quest. Love guides us through trivials that seem improbable, if not impossible. It does not shy away from any challenge or any cause. Love says there is another way. When we do things with love, everything in it, everything is possible, including the task that we collectively have ahead of us, which seems so impossible. And yet, in 2033, when we're talking about that Jupiter spiral on Magic Month, we'll be like, look what we've just done. We will. Because we're going to learn to embody our soul and do it the soul's way, which is the way of love, which is the beautiful way. So this technique is really amazing, and it helps. My guides like to teach energy mechanics, which is how to bring yourself into worthiness or anything else. Energy mechanics are like the mechanics of how to get out of the story and get into your energy body, and how to do it in your energy body to then create the inner state. And because worthiness is so important right now, because we do have to be worthy of the great things that we are all here to do. We have to be, because we are the ones that have got to do it. We also have to be humble. And so we have to learn both. But worthiness, really important right now. And what the guides say worthiness really is, you know, that you're always going to be unworthy if you're only in your masculine or only in your feminine. Because, of course, you're going to be unworthy because you need both. We need our masculine and our feminine to be working together right now, not separated. When the masculine is separated from the feminine, it is militarized. When the feminine is separated from the masculine, it's collapse and rejecting. And we need both. And so this mechanic is just so helpful anytime you need to summon worthiness as a state inside of you. And I advise you do it a lot before you do your ceremony. So when you're ready, closing your eyes and connecting to your masculine and your feminine, and inviting your masculine to stop protecting your feminine and start supporting her. And notice that shift in your energy. And then inviting your feminine to stop rejecting your masculine and start supporting him. And again, feel that shift. And now inviting your feminine and your masculine to lean on each other. And notice what that is creating inside of you. And as they lean on each other, experience them merging. So they're not just leaning on each other, they are overlapping, merging in your center, becoming one. Creating the inner golden thread. Which is your passage to the divinity of your soul. And notice as you connect to this, sense of the feminine and the masculine becoming so close that they are one. Notice what this has done to your posture and your mind. And your frequency. And your capacity. And then because this month is also about integration, invite your past self to stop rejecting your future self. And your future self to stop rejecting your past self. And invite your past self to stop protecting your future self. And your future self to stop protecting your past self. So you're healing the masculine and feminine in those past and future direction. And experience your past supporting your future. And your future supporting your past. And you as the place where your past and future are merging now. Inviting this integration to happen in the temple of you now. As you breathe, opening up to this month of October and this winter or summer, depending on where you are in the world. Bringing your life to soul standards. And making your life worthy of the beloved heart that you already have. And know that you don't need to know how to do that. But you are required to listen. You are required to trust. And you are required to change. And breathing in love. Breathing out gratitude. Breathing in love and breathing out gratitude. How sacred October is. Opening your eyes. Say that what we've just done is a useful practice for October. And for me, energy mechanics are the way. We can spend our life, there's really important, powerful story work. But sometimes we just have to be able to change state. And what we need right now is things that can help us change state without having to go on retreat. Like when we're in our everyday. And this is the kind of thing that will be taught in a beautiful way. It's what my guides are teaching at the moment. It's what the Starlight Mystery School is teaching, and it's really helpful. And so I hope you join us for the beautiful way, if it's the most beautiful thing you can possibly do. If not, I hope you do the most beautiful thing you can possibly do. And if Magic Month is helpful to you, then please tell other people about it, share it. I'm trying to get away from the types of marketing that involve 1%. So we need to do 99% marketing for each other. And yeah, I think October and this winter is going to be so special. And I love you all very much. And I really hope that this was helpful. So much love.